Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Today's Weather Tonight. Here, as always, I'm Cloud Hudson, your meteorologist for the evening, comedian slash meteorologist. And we are back with another update of all things weather, all the different waveforms from the volcanic center of the Earth to the tectonic to the atmospheric weather, all the way up to the solar weather, planetary weather, and last but not least, the cosmic weather. Maybe in that order, but who knows? Uh, this is a little bit of a loosey goosey podcast about very structural material things. And I'm just here to walk you through my experience of perceiving all of these waves. So, let me go ahead and share my screen, and we'll start by this is an episode in which I'm kind of learning the updates as I present them to you, because sometimes I have already studied what happened today before I go on air, and sometimes it's just a process of learning together. So that's what this episode is tonight. Is I worked all day and then I went and had some good time with community, and sometimes that just ends up in a more organic podcast. So that's what tonight's episode is going to be. So here we're looking at volcanodiscovery.com, and they date their daily updates by UTC time. So they've already gotten an update for February 14th out, but we are also looking at February 13th. So looks like, let's go ahead and look at their 13th update. Rearcast Peninsula update. A new hazard map has been issued. There are a couple changes within the zone. Looks like they are saying that there is continued magma intrusion beneath the Svartsengi area, which is where their power plant is. Again, still having that yellow right next to red without going to an intermediate orange. I don't think they know what a gradient is. I don't think they understand that boundaries aren't harsh lines to find one or the other, but there has to be at least a teeny bit of orange between yellow and red. That's just how rainbows work, people. Okay. Ebeko, over in near Paramushir Island in Japan. Let's look at this. Is a great picture of the explosive activity in Merapi down in Indonesia today. Gorgeous picture of that. Remember that even when we're not seeing lava flows, this is the kind of volcanic activity that actually impacts a lot of people's daily tasks, like flying planes or breathing air. Volcanic ash is pretty hard to deal with for both of those tasks. Suwanosejima erupted. Lewitobi still has some volcanic ash plumes, so does Semeru. And then Merapi had some extreme volcanian type explosions from the summit's crater. Dukono had a volcanic ash. Okay, so here's a new one from New Zealand. Gas flight observations show continuing steam and gas plumes emitting from active fumaroles on the west-southwest shores of the main lake. Remain comparable to 2023. Yeah. So it looks like we might see some more activity coming out of New Zealand. Here in the Aleutian Islands from Goreloi, volcano status was raised to yellow. Whoa, it's always awesome when they use color codes. Observations suggest presence of shallow magma and potential interaction with the hydrothermal system. Not clear likelihood of volcanic eruption has increased, but does seem to be a new influx of magma in the system. Okay, of course, we still got continued explosive activity over at Popo, Santiaguito, Fuego, Sangay, Reventador. Well, those are the ones that have explosive activity continuing. Reventador, Sabancaya, and Villarrica are all continuing their volcanic ash advisories, although atmospheric conditions are making it hard to confirm that. And then the part of the day that's on the 14th looks like all the usual suspects, and then adding in Sakurajima in the Kyushu Islands of Japan. Now I'm going to go ahead and look at earthquakes over here on volcanodiscovery.com as well. Well, maybe I'll go to interactive earthquake browser instead. We'll see. Yesterday I had some luck with interactive earthquake browser, so perhaps today I will. Hello to my one viewer. Thank you so much for being here. And hello to all my future viewers. I'm sure you'll be here eventually. So I want to say hi. Welcome. Drop a comment down below. Let me know that you're here when you finally get here. See that? I'm not only believing, but I'm banking on people watching this later on. That is the first step. It's not the only step, but it's the first step to things happening. Okay. Oh, I always forget that I need to use mixed data source because apparently USGS doesn't want to work on my computer anymore. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Ooh, that is a large one down in Chile. Let's start there. Let's start here. Okay, so yesterday we saw the continued activity southeast of Easter Island, and then today here, oh, this is not even on the 13th. This is technically on the 14th. We had a magnitude 6 at 2.2 kilometers depth, just after the date line onto the 14th. So at 1:30 a.m. UTC time. 6.0 right off, like a shallow 6.0 right off the coast of Chile. That is pretty significant. I wonder if we're going to see any other 6.0s today. Saw 4.4 here, technically in Argentina, and then also one on the Chile-Argentina border region. Those are some deeper quakes. Magnitude 4, I wonder if it's at 10 kilometers depth. Oh, it's not. It's a shallow one, but it's at 27 kilometers depth. Color me shocked, honestly. Now let's go up to see Central America and the Bahamas. Okay, so the Puerto Rico earthquakes look like they are getting deeper. We had seen mostly in the blue and purple range, so that's between 0 and 70 kilometers depth. But this yellow one, this 3.85, was at a depth. Okay, it's just over the threshold into the moderately deep of 150 kilometers depth. That one was from yesterday. We already went over. This is a new one near the coast of Guerrero, Mexico. A 4.2 at 19.632 kilometers depth. Seeing more activity in Southern California again, this time farther inland and closer to the plate boundary, the transform boundary. Remember, we had seen all of that activity the other day closer into San Diego near El Cajon, but we have a 4.1 at 15 kilometers depth there. And we also saw these earthquakes southeast of San Antonio. A lot of those were yesterday, but it looks like we had at least 2.1 in that area today on the 13th. Let's go zoom out so we can zoom through this. Again, I always say I'm going to try to do it faster than I usually do, but does that happen? Who knows? Okay, so we got a magnitude. Again, I was wondering if we'd see a 6 anywhere else. Magnitude 6.1 in the volcano islands, technically, of Japan. That is from yesterday, and so are these other. Some of these are from today here in the Philippines. A mixture of today and yesterday's shallow and mid-range shallow quakes, but they're high-end 4s. They're nothing to sneeze at. I feel like I keep saying that expression a lot lately. Nothing to sneeze at. Where's that come from? Who knows? Comedic Islands was from yesterday. The 4.2 on the South Island of New Zealand is new. That's at 10 kilometers depth. And we got one here on the Carlsberg Ridge. Really? Who's Carlsberg? I don't think he's from this area. At 4.5 at 10 kilometers depth. And then we've got one. This was from, that's not from yesterday. That's from technically today. 4.3, I think, at 10 kilometers as well on the Afghanistan-Tajikistan border. And then another one here on the Kyrgyzstan-Xinjiang border. Then was this? Yes, these were the ones from yesterday on the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, and the Ascension Island region was from today, 4.9 at 14 kilometers depth. And this one was that was yesterday's 2 magnitude 5 earthquakes at 10 kilometers depth here on the Mid-Atlantic Ridge. Now, let's go ahead from Earth activity and go ahead and look at our atmospheric terrestrial weather. Our Earth air weather. Look at those winds. Look at those winds just booking it across the country. You see that this atmospheric river is finally shifted off of the continental United States, and that's thanks to this little center of circulation here that kind of helped suck this stream off the coast. And behind that, we've got a big cold front coming in. I can verify from firsthand experience that in this region of the United States, the so-called United States, we've got a lot of really fast winds. When you get those side to side winds as opposed to the north to south winds, that's when it can really pick up. Because all the winds can align very easily, because that's the normal pattern of wind stream there. Now, let's go ahead and let's just look at where our, which one do I want to do? Yeah, I want to do Zoom Earth so that we can see where there's precipitation around the whole globe. Yeah, so we're seeing that snowstorm up in the northeast that some people in the southeast were hoping to get, but it's actually been northward. But at least, hey, that's a pretty nice, solid, wintry scene for Valentine's Day in New England. That's nice for them. And I mean, nice for them. And it's also really, really hecking cold. There's also quite the now it looks like the nor'easter has really shifted to Canada this year. They are getting that nice nor'easter type snowfall. Over here in the western United States, they're getting a decent amount of snow. Finally, in Montana, it seems like Colorado has hogged all the snow this year. But let's zoom out and see what we've got brewing over in the Pacific. Yeah. Oh, that is interesting. That's an interesting little bow there. That doesn't look like, I mean, it looks like this jet, this tropical jet, is very clearly siphoning, like being siphoned off into the polar jet. You don't usually see meridional, meaning north and south. You don't really usually see this meridional transport so clearly defined through a cloud. It's like pretty obvious that this stream is going into this stream, and usually you don't see that on the cloud level, but it looks like the transport is happening at the level where clouds happen, so we're actually getting to see the merging of those two streams right now. And then we've got a nice center of circulation brewing over in the North Pacific. Got a tropical disturbance making its way into the north coast of Australia. Again, big shocker. There's snow in Russia. What a surprise. You can hear my sarcasm. And some decently wintry weather, moderate rain in northern Germany and Netherlands area. But of course, Finland's covered in snow. And we're seeing a lot of these, the centers of circulation that like the storms that just moved out of the United States are moving into the United Kingdom. So with that, let's go ahead and zoom out and go to our solar weather for today. Has everybody been taking care of themselves during these extreme solar storms? We've got still in a S1 minor solar storm warning. We've got a in the past 2 hours, we had an M flare, and our solar wind speed is currently slightly elevated. Let's take a look at the, oh my goodness, 5 different CMEs today. Oh wait, these are from yesterday. Well, this one is from after I broadcast last night, so I'm going to go ahead and look at it. Man, look at that proton flux. That is some sparkly feedback. Looking gorgeous. Okay, so none with partial halos today, but let's take a look at this one because this reached some pretty high velocities. We've had from 34 to 30. We only had 5 coronal mass ejections today, so not as active as yesterday, but we need a little break sometimes. Especially because from last night into tonight is when the past 3 days, 2 and 3 days, is large solar flares that have finally made their impact on Earth. So actually in the last 2 hours was the only time we had an M flare. So technically we didn't see an M-class solar flare all day on February 13th. Just before and just after the day of February 13th, we saw some M flares. And, sometimes it oscillates up and sometimes it oscillates down. And this was just barely an M-class flare too. Let's see what that looked like on the sun's surface. Let's look at what our composite imaging of the sun looked like. If it'll load. There we go. Okay. So really only 2 little blisters. This guy is doing the most and about to rotate into view. This one, I honestly expected more, but perhaps since we've seen so much activity when these sunspot groups are on the limbs, maybe we will see the most activity out of 3, 5, 7, 6 once it's rotated more into a square aspect, like a 90 degrees from the Earth aspect. This one that's coming into view, though, I think it's 3583 or 4. It's one of those numbers. This looks like it's just swirling up into activity. So these two also not nothing, but look like they're arcing pretty stably to themselves and not reaching or twisting themselves too much. Remember, the thing that launches these flares is like when there's instability in the structure and like a weak point. Whenever there's a choke point in the twisted filament structure, that's when it gets released. So yeah, I really feel like this is our next one to watch. All right. Now, I feel like that is calm enough review of what's going on there for us to transfer into our astrological update, our planetary weather. And look at this. We are almost exactly at the Mars conjunct Pluto, Mars ingress into Aquarius. Now, Mars has left his exaltation in Capricorn and is now conjunct Pluto in the very first degree of Aquarius. This is putting into action, into motion, everything that this Pluto in Aquarius phase is going to be like. The actions you do today and that you did today are going to be things that you're setting a pattern for. So I hope we did what we wanted to and what we intended to. I feel like I did, but I also worked a whole lot, which is feels very Mars Pluto to be like, go, 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 do stuff. We still got the moon here at 23 degrees of Aries, and that is making a nice sextile to the sun. We're in the first third of the waxing moon phase. What else is jumping out here? I guess the moon is about to technically square Venus in Capricorn. So let's make sure that our ego body needs are feeling sensually aligned with our material action of career cardinal earth energy. Yeah, that. Oh, I also want to say that Venus is now making an exact sextile to Neptune. So that's really lovely flowing energy to feel optimistic about things, I think. Optimistic about stuff that feels like work, but we really want to be transcendent. That's a good sign for that, a good opportunity. Okay, so I think that is about it for what I want to share. Oh, man, I'm doing so good on time. That's it for what I want to share here. No, I want to do this. Yikes. Okay, something's really jumping out of the deck right now. Okay. That was me dropping my ocean jasper onto my singing bowl. Sorry. Something about this deck doesn't even want to be shuffled. Just wants me to. Okay. We have pulled the Farm. Nice little card from our liminal space deck. We then pulled No One Is Coming For You. Take that as you will. And ooh, this is nice. I like that it looks like both a tab and a Band-Aid. Reset. Reset. Reset energy. Mars conjunct Pluto in Aquarius. Reset. 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 We're going to reset. We're resetting into the timeline that we all want. Reset. Okay. Let's see what this deck has to say about these cards. Some of these, actually, I think all three of these I've never pulled personally. So this is kind of for the collective, I believe. Okay, the farm. The farm offers itself to those in need of respite, exploration, and insight of all sorts. It is a home, but not your home, and contains within it the imprints of a life lived, but not your life, the set of a story in which you are not a leading character, but are welcome to tour. Allow yourself to give and be given to without unpacking your bags. Love was here, and love leaves traces. Perhaps that's the universal link you feel. Really nice to feel ephemeral traces of community and know they exist and know that you can exist in them without having to have your ego needs wrapped up in that. That's really sweet. That's really sweet. Okay, let's go to No One Is Coming For You. No one is coming for you. With this ground to control to Major Tom ass looking card. No one is coming for you. No one can find you because you don't want to be found. No one is reaching for you because you are not reaching back. And no one can save you but yourself. This is not a punishment, but rather permission to stop wasting energy. Don't be a victim. Swim through the vacuum bag. Yeah. No one's coming for you. Nobody is trying to get at you. Like, no one's attacking you. But also, it's okay. In the most happy way and the most sad way. Not sad, but like most isolating and most reverberant. No one is coming for you. Okay. Reset. Reset. In the face of stagnating energy, disruption in the form of a well-placed glitch can effectively restore balance. Cleanse your space or take a trip. Decide to start over now. I like that so much because I always procrastinate taking a trip while staying at home till when I've cleaned my room, because I lived with an Aquarius one time who was like, oh my God, you'll have a bad trip if you haven't cleaned your room before. And I was like, what? And they were like, no, every mess has energy that'll tie you down into the space, and you'll only really feel levitated and like finally detached and let go if you've tied up all the loose ends around your space. So I actually really associate tripping with cleaning your room. Also, you don't even need a chemical or a medium to take a trip inside of your room, because cleaning your room, that'll send you to so many different places. Got to do it yourself. Got to DIY. But also, that's the joy and beauty of it. You don't have to rely on anybody else to make the magic happen. It's in your hands. It's in your power. I say this as I keep shifting a pile of clean laundry from the couch to the bed. That's my bed back there. From the couch to the bed, to the couch to the bed every day. And I'm like, I'll put it up later. But you know what? I'm the only one who gets to decide when I put up that laundry. I'm the only one who has to live with it. So at least it's clean laundry. Yeah, I know I've just now gotten a second viewer, and hi, hello, welcome. I love you very much. But I've just gotten through a pretty quick update for today. These are the cosmic weather cards. We've got the farm, no one is coming for you, and reset. All messages from the liminal space deck. We are officially now in Mars conjunct Pluto territory. We're still in a solar storm. There's pretty windy weather throughout the United States, so-called, and we've seen pretty normal earthquake and volcanic activity. Normal as in trending with what's recently happened. So yeah, hope we all are setting and living our intentions well. And I hope that we're taking care of our physical bodies, because that is super required right now. Take care of your physical body by taking care of your emotional body too. Okay. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for coming here. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and leave a comment if you feel so inclined. I love you all so very much. From the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for coming to another episode of Today's Weather Tonight. Have a great night, y'all.